Today we're going to talk about creativity and visual design. Now, as we get started, I want to share again that I've built my career generating online training for software in the financial technology industry. Now, to be fair, this is certainly not the most exciting content out there to create. We're talking about software systems with lots of database fields. When people need to perform tasks for their jobs, they typically have to navigate to a series of screens, fill out some fields, and then click Finish. They run reports, they process transactions, and they transfer printed documents into the system. So the challenge I was faced with was how not to make this content repetitive and boring. How can I connect with people in a way that is visually interesting and engages them in a way that makes them want to go through the material? So today we're going to cover the first part of this statement. How do I consistently make things visually interesting? So let's start this discussion on getting yourself into the mindset of an abundance of creativeness. The other day I was at the office and working with a colleague. She said to me, "I have to make this PowerPoint presentation for you so you can turn it into a course. I know you want me to tell a story, but I'm not creative. So I'm just going to give you the steps and you can do your magic with it." Well, that's a pretty common thought, actually. Most people believe that they aren't creative. You probably think that of yourself. If you didn't, you might not be watching this right now. So there's a few things wrong with this line of thinking. First, we all are creative, but in our own ways. We just have to find that way. Second, she was assuming that I was the creative one in this discussion, and I'm actually no more creative than she is. I just know my resources and how to get to something interesting from a series of process steps. Third, process steps are boring. Nobody wants to hear a series of steps in a training course. She's on site with clients all the time. I simply asked her, when would I need to use this set of steps that she's describing? She kind of stammered and stuttered a little as she searched her mind for a situation. Then she came up with one or two situations that she was aware of. I asked a cubicle neighbor of hers the same question. Again, I got about 2 more times when a person would follow those steps. So now, she may not think she's creative, but with 4 situations in hand, she could at least present the content in a way that made the viewer aware of why they needed to learn something and give them a reason to pay attention. This is what being creative is about, reaching past the obvious to come up with a solution. Over the years, I've slowly evolved into a thought leader at the company I work for, one of the largest, if not the largest, financial technology companies in the world. But how did that happen? Am I actually creative? Am I actually a visual design guru? Am I actually a top innovator when it comes to media development? Well, not really. I got known for it because I knew how to use my resources. I wasn't afraid to try things. I wasn't afraid of experimentation. There were a lot of hours spent reading and just playing. I spent a lot of time watching YouTube tutorials and example videos. The point is, I wasn't born creative. I worked to stretch that creative muscle. I step in when someone needs an idea or a direction in which they can take content they're creating. I ask questions that drive me in a direction so I have a starting point. Spoiler alert, this isn't hard and you can be that person because that person was me. You just have to want to be that person. Embrace the fear and the challenge, and you can follow some simple exercises to become the person that people think of when they need a creative person.